All right, welcome back to Real Cast Fishing. Your host, Glenn, with the City of Allen Fishing Field Team, COAF Field Team on YouTube. And this round, what have I got for you? Well, we're just kind of, just talking fishing in general. Let me make sure I've got everything set up here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just talking fishing in general. And some of the, I have struck out these last 3 times when I hit the local pond over there at Bethany Lakes. These last few, I think this last week, there's multiple places in our area that have been stocked with trout, and I've heard a lot of reports of folks catching a fish or two, specifically a trout or two. And I just want to give you at least my take on it right now. Usually, when you hit a location, you go with super dupers and inline rooster tails and different lures. Those tend to really, it's just the color that you need to figure out, and the retrieve or the pattern, and you'll start catching a fish or two. But you'll surely struck out these last few. I did see one individual, and I learned from it, the Berkeley power worm on a drop shot rig. That was cool, checking that out. Normally when I fished them in the past, I fished them under a bobber and kind of let it kind of drift and fish the upper part of the water column. But in this case, they were fishing the lower part of the water column deeper because they weren't striking anything on the upper part of the water column. So 8 go deep. And that drop shot rig seemed to be working very well, at least for the individual I saw. Here locally, Bethany Lakes, what will happen after about the first few days, if not the first week, before the cormorants start arriving and start eating up all the fish, is usually you'll start out pretty strong with some lures and flies and whatnot. But then after the week progresses, you go into the next week, then it's probably going to be, trout bait, power worms, bait in general, corn, bread. I see a lot of folks doing really well with bread, especially when they kind of squish them pretty tight and kind of let them like little round disc that kind of float in the water to attract them. I've seen that work really well. And basically fishing the upper part of the water column under a float and whatnot. Also, you'll start seeing in a lot of these ponds where you'll see an evening hatch as the about 5-6 o'clock rolls around. There's like a brief opportunity where you can catch them on flies, specifically dry flies. The main thing that you're looking at is getting the right size and color. And here at our local pond, Bethany Lakes, what I've at least seen over the past, over 10 years, probably 20, is the evening bite. As the sun goes down, you'll start seeing the trout popping on the surface and chasing something or eating something. And what I found is a little black midge, possibly a sulfur midge, size 16, size 14, size 18, kind of in that realm. You should be good. And then what I typically will do is I'll get my switch rod. It's a longer rod, two-handed variety right here. And I mainly bring this out there because I can get a longer distance. I can pretty much cast wherever I see them rising in the pond, be it in the middle of the pond, not that far out in the middle because it is pretty far, but I can get pretty close to where they are lurking out there and feeding on things. And so I'll usually switch to that instead of my traditional one-handed fly rods. I did go the other day, and they were feeding like I thought. Just yours truly didn't bring the appropriate dry flies. In fact, I've got some dry flies here that I probably need to put together. In fact, here, let me go grab one real quick. Okay, so you can kind of play around with it. You can do a dry fly, classic dry fly midge. But what I like to do is I tie a Griffith's gnat pattern, and in this case, grizzly hackle right here. Let's see, if you can really see it or not. anyways, this is a size 16. I've tied it sparse, and I probably need to go with a smaller hackle for the size 16. But what happens is when I go with the Griffiths gnat, I can get it to land on the surface, and I got my glasses on, and I'll watch for the strike. And a lot of times, you've got about a 30-minute window of opportunity to hook them on these dry flies, about 5, 6 o'clock, and then after that it's done. And so usually you get like 2 or 3 before it quits. Alrighty, let's see. We got some folks joining. Navy Man 055. Howdy. Love the content. Appreciate it. Marlon Elliott. Howdy. And then Real Fishing. Love to hear everything about fishing. Yeah, if I'm not fishing, I have no problem. Let's talk fishing. So good stuff here. So that is one of the things that I've noticed, at least consistently. It used to happen over there at the Frisco Commons Pond when they would stock there as well. Let's see, Mondi, Mr. Hello, howdy. Just talking a little fishing. In this case, I was just mentioning how I will switch to a dry fly pattern for the evening bite at our local pond during the Texas trout stocking season, which is in full swing at this point. Let's see, and I'll switch from a one-handed fly rod to a two-handed switch rod, just so I can get that added extra distance. Additionally, I got the switch rod mainly because I hurt my shoulder one year, and I noticed I can cast without having to lift my arm above the shoulder and still get the distance I need. And so, well, I got several switch rods, so you got to rotate the fly rods, fishing rods, and whatnot, so that each one gets their opportunity to catch a fish. Alrighty. So if you do see me out there, this one's going to be an 11-foot size, 6-weight switch rod. Got it on. Let's see. I think this is the Rio Skagit head right there. And yeah, I can easily cast 100 plus feet, no problem with this thing. Alrighty. How's the bite with the colder weather? It's still pretty good. The main thing is just trying to find what they're biting on. That's the big thing. Like I've been striking out so far at the local pond. I had some hits off a silver super duper. Then I had some hits on some rooster tails. Did have some hits as well with the fly rod, but unfortunately, from time permitting, by the time I get there, I usually have just a short window. Ground fog, howdy, welcome back. Anyhow, I just wanted to just do a real quick impromptu session, get you a quick update on some of the things that are happening, and just a reminder that at least in our local area, around the 5-6 o'clock evening bite time frame, when you start seeing those trout rising and popping away at something, give a little dry fly or Griffiths gnat, midge, dry fly midge, either one, black, sulfur, maybe an olive dun, have that in your back pocket, and go with, I would say, have a 14, 16, or 18 ready, maybe even go to a 20 at times, but have that at the ready, because there's been times during that short window, it's about maybe a 30-minute window, where the trout are actively feeding on whatever's hatching, and as long as you have the right size fly, as well as color, you're going to get some bites. And what I do notice is as long as you have the right size fly, it could be different colors, they'll still hit it. Better than one that you have the wrong size fly. So keep that in your back pocket. Well, that's probably the reason why I'll go with the 14, 16, and 18. And it doesn't hurt to kind of grab one of those bugs that are rising and flying away. I've done that before, where I was able to capture some, just kind of grab it out of the air and take a look and just get a feel for the size. I'm like, oh, that looks like a size 18. Let's go throw that on there. And sure enough, I've gotten some at least in that short window, gotten at least a couple of fish or so that I can. I'll do a little dinner thing, pan fry it and whatnot. That said, I have been pan frying as well as deep fat frying. I got this little backpacking stove. I also got a little stand for it because it kind of is wobbly when I put the pot on there, or the pan that you normally use for a Dutch oven. This stand that I got, but I can in short order throw that stove underneath it, and I think it'll work well. I have been just mainly pan frying them as well as deep frying them with some different spices. Hello, what is a fly? What fly is best for small 3 to 4 inch bluegill with the colder water? Ooh, colder water. Let me think. Shoot, it's been a while since I fished for bluegill in the winter, from a fly standpoint. But I would say the gold rib hare's ear nymph, that style pheasant tail nymphs. I believe those would probably get you what you're looking for. I've fished them or caught them on occasion when I set up a tandem rig, lead fly versus trailing fly. The gold rib hare's ear nymph is going to be the trailing one. That's the one where I've gotten some bluegill in that manner. Initially, there's been times when it's still cold and the trout bite is down, and I'll just kind of walk around the different ponds and whatnot in our area and throw it on an indicator. I would say that would be a good rule of thumb. Gold rib hare's ear nymph. Size, I'd say maybe a size 14. Yeah, 14, 16 should be good to go. All right, if you go with 10, it may be a little bit too big. But hey, yeah, give it a try. All righty. Let's see. Of course, you could always just throw on an olive woolly bugger and everything hits that. It's just going to be the size. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyways, so talking of cooking up some fish, I have been playing around with trying this real spicy recipe that I made, or spice that I made with some habanero, jalapeno, and Tabasco that I grew in my garden, and I got them all grind up, and yeah, that's been working out really good. Looks like, thank you, I recently made my first 3-foot fly rod. Nice, yeah. I got several back here. Did you make it with the telescoping pen rod that you pick up on Amazon at times, or did you make it with in my case, I broke an 8-weight fly rod, and I used the top 2 sections of it for my micro fly rod. In fact, here I can go grab it real quick here. Alrighty, I grabbed it. Let's see. Thank you. Okay, yeah. All right, so here's the one with the telescoping pen rod, and where I remove the rings and put my own rod guides right here. And this one, in fact, there's a little Griffiths net on there right now. All right. Anyways, yeah. This one's a fun one to have. Additionally, this is the 2-piecer right here. Okay. And this is from that broken 8-weight that I broke right here. All right. So it makes a handy 2-piece. And lo and behold, it looks like I've got a little caddis pupae fly. This is one I use when I'm trying to catch a bunch of bluegill that I'll be live lining with my bait finesse gear. All right. So what happens is I'll take this 2-piece fly rod, little micro fly rod, catch me some bluegill, throw it into the little bait bucket that has a little live aerated whatever deal to it, and get that prepped. And then I'll take out my I call it the Bait Finesse Systems live bait rod, because I'm meaning to use it for casting live mullet, live bluegill, for speckled trout and bass. In fact, I'll go grab that one real quick. Okay. All right. This is the one that I got specifically for live bait fishing. All right. It's the Shimano Curado BFS XG, and it's got seal bearings, so you can take it salt water, and it's meant to be fished there. I've got 8-pound Stren Mono, the high vis, or correction, 6-pound Stren Mono high vis orange, because I like watching the line when I fish. And then this is the Ugly Stick Elite Graphite 7-foot ultralight rod. It's got I like the length of it, especially since I'm hoping to catch some nice bruiser speckled trout here once things warm up. I have caught I'd say maybe 17, 18-inch bass with this thing, as well as a 20-plus inch catfish. So this thing can handle bigger fish, and although it's that bait finesse style, it can definitely handle some fish there. And right now I just got a 1/16 firetail on here, inline spinner rooster tail. Man, this is the one that I was getting some hits over there at the local pond, and well, bummer. I had them on there, but they threw the hook on me. Let's see. Moody Mr. Sub, cool. All right, I appreciate the sub. Yeah, definitely like folks joining, and let's talk fishing. Definitely will talk fishing. If I can't go fishing, well, I'll definitely talk about fishing. All right, so yeah, this one is what I plan on using, and I definitely will stream while I'm on the coast, like I did this last trip to the Texas coast, Galveston, Texas. All right, but I am hoping to also make it down to Rockport in the Corpus Christi area. There's pretty fun times catching some blue crab, and since there's no limit, and there's really just make sure you got the right size, 5-inch carapace width. Yeah, it's pretty fun to catch a bunch of those. Plus, you clean them up and everything. I think blue crab are the best tasting crab compared to the other crabs, be it the Alaska snow crab and whatnot. I think that one has the best taste. Except the Dungeness crab does. Dungeness crab, blue crab, it'd be a hard one to kind of flip flop between. Yeah, but there's no Dungeness crab here in Texas. It's all blue. All right. Okay, and then like I was saying, I will switch to a switch rod, two-handed fly rod, when I start hitting the local ponds, mainly because I'm going to be fishing a dry fly, and I'm needing that extra distance to get to where the trout are lurking. I know there's other folks that'll come out there with a bubble fly rig and cast that rig mid pond, if not past the middle of the pond, and they will be hooking up pretty well with some of the fish. Again, with fishing flies, but I would say in the evening by 5-6 o'clock, when the trout are rising and chasing these little bugs and whatnot that are hatching, you just get you some dry flies, size 14, 16, 18, various colors, and have that at the ready. Because again, you have that short opportunity when they are feeding, and that's all they're going to hit. I've gone out there, I've got all my baits and everything, I got all these different lures, tried all these different flies as well, and it all comes down to they don't want anything but that dry fly. All right, because, well, match the hatch. That's what they're eating. Okay. I have done it before. I do have one of those stomach pumps where I've caught a trout and I've pumped it. And here at Bethany, what I've noticed is It's these little tiny larvae looking things, like little tiny worms, and like they kind of remind me of a zebra midge. That little curvature and whatnot. And then there's been times where I've gone out there and I've thrown one of my underwater cameras, and there are just tons of these little bugs and little larvae just everywhere getting attracted to the light. So, although it's cold, it looks like there's some food to be had for trout in these local ponds and whatnot. So do keep that handy. Other things I keep in my back pocket when I am targeting these trout stockings. I do like having some trout, Berkeley trout bait, dough bait, power bait. Also keep some power worms on me. I have the inline spinners, the rooster tails, Meps anglia, specifically the trout plane in the double aught size. And then the Panther Martin ones. Those are always good to have in your back pocket, as well as those super duper lures. Castmasters are good to have as well. Castmasters tends to be a little bit heavier for the size comparison between a super duper and a Castmaster. Main thing is just having the different colors. I've known at times where I've fished and I've had to go through 4 or 5 different colors before I figured out that they want to hit a particular color. All right. And so like having that. And then, of course, from a fishing fly standpoint, woolly buggers, the near deer, some midges, in this case, the dry fly ones I mentioned, as well as the little tiny midge that you fish wed. Those are always good to have in your back pocket. All right. Other than that, hopefully this was helpful. Just wanted to do a little quick update and let you guys know that although I'm not able to go out there and do a little fishing and do more of these live streams at this point, it's the work week and I'm at my day job. At least we can always talk fishing. All right. Appreciate you all joining. Until next time, we'll catch you all later. And good luck and good fishing.